All right, everyone, it's time to get into our craft and fly. You can hit Shift D to automatically teleport to a ship on the same station you are, or luckily, you can just walk up the ladder. So to interact with something, you'll see this highlight, which means you can left click on it to interact with it, and this brings up this flight menu. So get up means, obviously, you'll just get up from your chair. If you have a pilot hired, they will come out of the transporter room and sit there and take command of the ship automatically. Ship information is your current ship information. It's like hitting the I key, but you can see that we were on the individual instructions tab. So information tab is over here. We can see, burst weapon, sustain weapon. Awesome dude is a 5-star pilot because we are, and we can see how much hull and shields we currently have. So we'll escape out of that. If we wanted to trade with this station in its raw goods, we could. The thing about equipment docks, wharfs, that sort of thing is they do not offer anything for sale. They want to buy. Their main trade good is selling ships and selling components back to the universe. But if we were at a station that did sell things, they would be lit up in white. We would see the price per. We could see how many is on our ship. And we can see our container space. So this little fighter has 150 meters cubed of container space. What does that mean? That means that, say, an energy cell that is 1 meter cubed, we can buy 150 energy cells at a power plant and sell them off. Something like a hull part might be 3 to 5 meters cubed in size, so we won't be able to take 150 of those. We could only take as many as we can fit and that we could afford. So selling back, we would just click and drag from the ship to the ship to buy, and then off of the ship to the station to trade. And once we go into trading, I will show you that process. Upgrade and repair dock to ship. So if you're in a ship and you're like, hey, I want to buy a satellite, or I want to buy a bigger gun, this is how you do that. Upgrade ships. So our ship appears here. You can right click and drag to see your ship. And we can see the check marks of what we currently have. So right now we have the all-around Mark I Argon engines already installed. Every ship must have an engine. So, it's up to us which one we want to buy. So what is the difference between a $5,000 engine and a $134,000 engine? We'll click that and see that our speed goes from 175 up to 236. Our boost speed goes from 1,435 to 1,938. And when we go into travel mode, we can go from 2,486 to 3,356. And you're thinking, oh, that's pretty good. But these are all arounds. What do combat engines do? Well, they change overall in-system speed. So 267 versus a 236. So we are faster off the gas. Boosting speed. Whenever we kick in the boost and we need to get out of dodge quick, that gives us another 400 meters per second. Travel speed, though, goes down because a combat ship isn't necessarily interested in getting from one end of the galaxy to the other as fast as possible. They want to do local fighting. Well, what if you're a trader? You can take the travel engines and see our speed in system drops from 236 down to 212. Our boost speed drops from 1,900 down to 1,400, but our travel speed goes from 3,300 to 4,100. So if you are doing long hauls and you're like, I need to get my ship to this trade as fast as possible, they'll be in travel speed most of the time. That's an extra 1,000 meters per second. So every second you're going another 1,000 meters exponentially. We don't have the cash for that, but we can look at thrusters. So thrusters will affect our turning rate. So that is the yaw, pitch, and roll. So as you are turning in system, you can see our strafe speed, yaw, pitch, and roll goes up. That's how quickly it can pivot. Combat really focuses on the yaw, pitch, and roll, so you can turn around and get on the tail of your enemy nice and quick. So that is the difference between all-arounds and combats. So if you wanted to do a combat ship, it'll be 6,600, and you do get the cost back for the thrusters that we're taking off. So we get 5,228 back, purchasing for 6,600. It's only going to cost us 1,300 bucks to make this change, to lose some strafing speed and strafe acceleration to get greater yaw pitch and roll. I mean, that's something you could do. Shields. Obviously, you want shields on your ship, even Mark 1 shields, to give you some shielding capacity. Otherwise, your hull is bare. So you don't want to keep your ships exposed. So Mark 1 shields, but Mark 3 shields can go from 800 megajoules with an 82 recharge rate to 1,400 shields with a 219 recharge rate. So handy for survivability for sure. This ship only has one shield slot. As you gain ship size, you'll see multiple, especially if we go here to the weapons. There may be fighters with 6 small slots, so you're buying 6 guns. You can see here, these are in red. They require the Federation Military Equipment License, meaning we need to boost our rep if we want to get some bolt repeaters or dumbfire launchers. The only thing that the Argon will sell to us now is a better pulsed laser, which our weapon output goes from 81 and 75 sustain to 156, 143. It's 94,000 credits though. We'll be spending 75,000 credits to get just that little bit. It's up to you if that is worth it or not. Software. If you don't want to dock yourself, this docking computer 1 is going to be essential for you. Flight assists, that is mandatory for all ships. It needs some kind of scanner. This is scanner range. So we have a long range scanner Mark 1 and a long range scanner Mark 2. Mark 2 has a bigger footprint, as it were. So these are your local scanners. So we have a basic scanner here that allows us to scan individual components of stations. The police scanner can scan into cargo holds. If you have your police license and you're looking for smugglers, this police scanner will get into cargo holds and see if anyone's carrying contraband. For this ship, it needs a targeting computer. Trading software is good for the traders to see local deals as they pass by a station. That trading computer extension maintains the link from potential buyers and sellers for a limited time. So basically, they can fly by a station and they will remember what prices the station was selling things at, so they could come back and make a trade later. Consumables. Here are things like your advanced satellites, deployables that you can drop around a station to essentially always know what their goods are selling for and have visibility around that station at all times. So warp gates are good places for satellites so you can see who's coming in and out of the system. Satellites are cheaper, but have a much smaller range. So advanced satellites are 10 times the price. Does it offer 10 times the coverage? I'm not exactly sure. Nav beacons are things that you can place down as sort of your own local waypoints that never go away. So if you come across an anomaly or something that you want to remember the exact position of, that's what the nav beacons are for. Resource probes are for your miners to go out into asteroid fields or gas clouds and determine how much of a resource is actually in that cloud. It may look like a bunch of rocks and you're thinking, oh, that's a bunch of ore that I could bring back. And you drop down a resource probe and it's actually all silicon. There's no ore there to be found. The resource probe will allow that for you to see that. Laser towers are little defensive laser guns. Essentially, this thing right here on the front of the ship will fly out in outer space and shoot lasers at any enemies automatically. They're kind of cheap and good if you are trying to run away and distract the enemy. You can drop laser towers. Same with friend and foe mines. Regular mines placed around jump gates, things like that, or around your stations might deter enemies. Tracker mines, same thing. Flares are just like fighter craft in the real world. If someone has a missile lock on you, you can drop a flare to confuse it. But I really haven't been shot at with too many missiles, so I never buy any flares. Crew! If you want to buy crew for a ship, and you can see that this ship is empty. We have no crew. It can hold 3. If we wanted to hire a pilot, automatically, we could do that. We could hire some service crew that will repair up the ship to a certain point, as well as get experience for firing turrets. So mainly crew is really needed for medium ships and higher. Also, we could put on Marines. These are the people that board enemy craft. And once we get to the boarding section, we'll talk all about Marines. Paint modifications. So if you unlock any paint modifications through play, you can choose which paint schemes you want to apply here. So modes are handy in when you're actually flying. Travel mode, scan mode, and long range mode. We will talk about those in the flight portion. And undocking, Shift D, is the way to undock. So say you're shopping, Shift D, get back on the craft, left click Shift D, and up you go. And you can see as we move the mouse, that circle is moving, as well as a little dot that is chasing it. That's essentially where our gun is pointing. Over here on the left side, these are the deployables, the missiles, essentially. We don't have any missiles. On the right are your guns, and you can see we have one gun, and there's 4 little dots next to this gun. If we hit enter, we can get our weapon group. So with bigger craft, we'll have more guns, and you can say, I only want the Mark I laser to fire when 1 is selected. Or if you have a pair, you can select position 2 and say position 2 for the other gun and activate them both. If you always want this thing to fire, you can have all 4 positions set, so no matter when you hit 2 on your keyboard, 3 on your keyboard, 4 on your keyboard, that gun is going to be lit up. So let's turn it off, uncheck all the dots, and you can see that no matter when we hit 1, 2, 3, or 4, our gun is not active. It's not there. So make sure that you have one weapon group with the weapon you want to use on it, and now our gun is back. In the center, you will see meters per second. This is how fast we're currently moving, as well as this arrow here. At this point means we are completely stationary. If we back up, that arrow will move over here. If we move forward, the arrow will go to the right, and then you can see at basically what position your throttle is set. This white line here is our hull points. If it's all the way to the right, we're full. The blue is our shield. So as we take damage, that blue line will go down, and then it'll start eating into our hull. These things down here are our flight modes that we're in, and as we fly around, you will see these change. FLR is how many flares we have on board. Here's our HUD, and it has a pretty decent range. You can click on any one of these icons, and it will basically point you that direction. So, hey, this agricultural trader, it's down and to the right, 23K away. It's appeared here on the corner of the map, and as it comes in front of us, you can see its speed, 963 meters per second, 27K away, and what are its shields and hull. All right, so let's actually fly this thing. So as we are pointed toward the wall, the first thing we want to do is back up. So we are going to scroll our mouse wheel back, and as you can see, the line moved to the left. I'm no longer scrolling. And then to stop in place, we are going to use the backspace key. Boom. That is cut throttle no matter what you're doing. Now you want to turn, and you're like, hey, I'm moving my mouse, but nothing is happening. What's going on? So your arrow keys by default turn you right, left, point you nose up and nose down. Your WASDs are kind of a strafe. So we'll press D, strafe to the right. A, strafe to the left. S, strafe down. W, strafe up. Your roll keys are Q and E. So we will Q, roll to the left. E, roll to the right. Now you're like, well, can I just fly with the mouse? Yes, you can. This is where these modes are going to change down here. You're going to hold your left shift button and hit the space bar. Now steering mode is activated, and as you can see, there is a line pointing to our mouse, and as I move the mouse around, the ship is pointing that way. Keep in mind that the roll orientation is stationary, so if I roll to the left and I move, it's not going to automatically right me to what you would consider to be the horizon. So you gotta still actively rotate or roll as you move your mouse. So let's get out of here. let's mouse up. And because we are in a dock, our top speed, even if I scroll all the way up, and I'm scrolling, you can see we're stopped at 49 meters a second. But once we clear the landing bay, we're going to pick up to top speed. So there we go. And top speed of this craft is 175 meters per second in open space. And we can fly around, as you can see. And remember, if you ever want to stop, just hit the backspace key. And there we go, we have stopped. So the first step we're going to do is our different modes. And because we're next to a equipment dock, we are going to hit the left shift and the number 2, and we have our local scan mode. This means that as we fly close to the station, and you can get some practice flying next to the station, we will see that the argon components are being scanned as we fly by. We are learning about this station as we fly by. One thing that we are also looking for is below that flare number. You see that little waveform that's getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger? Well, we are going to fly to that. And you can see it's getting stronger because of that flash. Now, you can only see that in scan mode. Notice how when I hit Shift 2, those sparks right off of our nose go away. You can't really see them. So if you're looking for data leaks, you can hit Shift 2. And we're actually just going to fly up right next to it. Once you get in range, you'll hit the backspace key. And in the bottom left, you will see modulating audio signal. I need assistance. Hey, we'll press F on your keyboard. This is actually the main quest.
Receiving this transmission. My plan is working. Now, I just need to dial in the heretic's end coordinates and... Oh, I must go now. My captors will soon return, and there is so much more to prepare.
So now you can see that we have a mission. When there is a yellow line drawn to a gate, and we'll just point our nose at it, there is a yellow square around that gate noting this is our mission objective. So what we'll do is, this is a perfect time for me to show you the other modes. And what I do is, when I point to an object, I don't like to keep mouse on. So I hit Shift and space again. That locks the craft going in a straight line. The next mode we'll talk about is long range scan. So we will hold Shift and press the 3 key. And now we are in long range scan. You will hold the R key and release it right as that little line gets close to one another. If you just tap it, nothing's going to happen. You have to hold it and release. Hold and release. What that does is, if you look at your map by pressing M, anything that's out that you haven't seen gets a question mark. So essentially, there's a station here and here and here and here and here, and an unknown object here. So if you wanted to see what exists in a brand new sector, you can do your long range scans. If we zoom out, we can see that that creature, and we'll left click and drag that, wants us to go through here. And that seems to be the end of our journey, because he wants us to go into unknown space. We have never seen past Argon Prime as an Argon, so we don't know where he wants us to go. The next mode that we are going to do is travel. So if you left click on this gate, you can see it's 241 kilometers away. And if we were just to, we could fly like this at 175 meters per second. But let's speed this up, shall we? So we'll hold left shift and press the 1 key. That's travel mode. In the bottom left, you can see travel mode charging. Bigger ships take longer to spool up, and if you are attacked or hit during that spool up time, travel mode will be canceled. So make sure you are free and clear and away from anything before you travel. And slowly and surely, the ship is accelerating. I'm not touching anything. The ship is slowly accelerating up to our top travel speed. And we can see actually combat over here on the left. So I'm gonna hit space or backspace. we're going to
Mammal.
select
Sentinel.
the Antigone Republic Sentinel, point towards it, and fly towards it just normally. I'll hit left shift and space bar. And what I'm looking for is kind of for any debris to fall off of this ship. As this construction ship is destroying
Cerberus. Vanguard.
this Argon Federation, they may drop goodies, which is free for us to pick up. And since they're in a war with each other, and we are not in a war with either one of them, their loss is our gain. We can vulture up and pick up some crates. Now I'll hit left shift and spacebar again because I see
Container.
a container. Perfect. So I click the square container, and once we get within, say, 1 kilometer of it, I'm going to hit the backspace key again, and I will show you how to suck things up into your cargo bay or your personal inventory, as it were. So we can see a destroyed ship here. We can see everything that destroyed ship dropped, and we'll hit the backspace key, come to a complete stop, and we're going to hit the O key. And then once it's all pulled in, I will release the O key, and we can see ammo collected, inventory items collected, Well, that's going to be in that inventory that I was telling you about. M for map, player information, the inventory, and you can see we picked up a high energy catalyst. It's not worth a whole lot, but we picked up 3 secure containers worth $13,000 if we were to sell it. We also picked up carbon filters and crystal bits. So we've already made, double our money just by flying around and, picking up stuff that other destroyed craft want. The next thing I'll talk about is the boost. So as you're flying around, let me shift space bar, get some mouse control. If you hit the tab key, you will see that blue line start to go down. That's how much boost you have, and that will have to recharge. So once we've used all of our boost, that bar will recharge. We'll go back to normal speed. And there is inertia. So the heavier ship you have, that's more loaded down, if you boost and start turning really quick, you're going to start sliding in space. Think of it as flying on ice. You are going to continue the direction of travel you were going before you started turning. So there is some Newtonian physics in here. And the next thing that we can look at is detaching sort of this driving mode where, hey, I'm turning right and my ship is turning right. I'm pointing left and my ship is turning left. What happens if you just wanted to fly by? That is the left control and space bar. Flight assist disabled. Now when I turn, you can see I'm pointing at the craft, but I'm continuing on in the direction I was going before I disengaged the flight assist. And if you're wondering, yes, one of the developers of Star Citizen have actually come over to X4 and have worked on these flight controls. And you're like, well, I want to fly towards it again. Just left control spacebar, boom, the ship will sort of, dig its heels back into the pavement, as it were, and then fly again. So yeah, this Cerberus is about dead. I imagine it's going to drop some cool stuff. If they abandon ship, that would be awesome, because then we could claim that ship for our own. But I don't think they're going to abandon ship, no. So they're destroyed, but we can see here on our HUD a cargo container. So let's go pick that up. So we'll use a tab to boost, let go of the tab because of inertia. We want to slow down, backspace, and you can see we're kind of flying right by the cargo container. But there it is, 40 meters away. O to suck up. And we got 4 Argnu stakes. So that is the basic flight controls. Let me talk a little bit about weapons and lockboxes next time, everyone. This was just sort of a teaser to get you flying in a certain direction, learning that there is a travel mode and you don't have to putt at 175 meters per second in a straight line. You can speed up if you want. And let's look for a lockbox and talk about weapons next time.